What's up, Falcons Nation, NFL fans? It's your boy Jew coming at you with another Atlanta Falcons video. As always, Falcons Nation, rise up. In today's video, I'd like to talk about draft prospect James Williams. But if you're new to the channel, please hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell so you'll know when I've done Atlanta Falcons content or NFL content. If you'd like to follow your boy on Twitter and Instagram, you can follow me at Jew Talk Sports. And if you'd like to donate to my channel, you can donate to my Cash App, which is the $ Jew Talk Sports. And if you'd like to be a part of my Jew Talk Sports membership, you can hit that join tab here on the channel as well. But with that being said, let's jump right into the video. So as I mentioned in today's video, I do want to talk about draft prospect James Williams. James Williams played his college football at the University of Miami. He goes about 6'5", 225 pounds. And he did play the defensive back and safety position at the University of Miami. I do think that he could be a draft sleeper for the Atlanta Falcons. I do believe he'll be a player that could be drafted in the later rounds. But he is one of those guys that has elite instincts. That's what I noticed when I looked at his highlights and looked at his film on tape. He's one of those guys that has a nose for the football. He was around the football at all times, stripping opponents and causing fumbles. A big hitter, a guy that was very physical, especially in those zone coverages. He was one of those guys that closes in on opponents really fast. And his game is similar to Cam Chancellor, similar to Keanu Neal that formerly played with our Atlanta Falcons, in that he's one of those guys that's a very intimidating type player, a guy that's a bruiser, a guy that's not afraid to, come downhill. But he is one of those guys that was a playmaker on that Hurricanes defense. So I definitely could see him being a guy that would fit in this Jimmy Lake style defense and Raheem Morris, because I do believe we're going to play a lot of zone coverages. And I believe that he is one of those guys that you could play at that box safety role and sometimes play him like at that safety role, at like a single high safety type, where he can kind of roam the middle of the field at that strong safety position and, come up and make plays. We know that Jesse Bates is one of the maestros in the back end as far as intercepting the ball. And he's another guy that, closes on the ball really quick. But James Williams is one of those guys where the Miami Hurricanes used him mainly to, dislodge the football by closing in on guys in zone coverages and making big hits. And he also was a guy that they used in blitz packages where he would come off the edge, sometime on delayed blitzes and things of that nature. They would line him up on the line of scrimmage as if he's like playing the slot cornerback position, and then he would come off the edge. And I definitely think that would be, he would be a good fit in this Atlanta Falcons defense. And I just like that he's a playmaker. He's a guy that was always around the football, has a nose for the football. And that's something that you really can't teach as a football coach, is players just having a nose for the ball and, taking the ball away. And that's something that he did really well at the University of Miami. So I definitely could see him possibly being one of those guys that the Falcons could draft in the later rounds. He could also go undrafted because he's got one of those guys that's a raw talent. So he could be one of those guys where the Falcons don't draft him in the later rounds. He could also be a guy that could be like an undrafted free agent type player. But I definitely think that he has, an elite skill set as far as his ability to have the nose for the football, his ability, to have great instincts and knowing where the quarterback is going with the football and knowing how to dislodge the ball and create fumbles and things of that nature. And also being one of those guys that's really good at tackling in the open space. If you go check out his highlights and things of that nature, he was one of those guys that was always around the football, but didn't miss many tackles. But he had a lot of big hits. If you go look at, his highlights and things of that nature, he had a lot of big hits where he closed in on opponents really fast and had, blew up a lot of opposing offensive players. So with that being said, this being your boy Jew, I have a lot more content coming for you guys. But as always, Falcons Nation, rise up, be blessed, peace.